Okay, in this video I just wanted to talk about the new firmware version 2.5 for the Panasonic GH6, and today it's the 20th December 2023, and for us here in the UK the release was basically the middle of last night, but you know, obviously if you're in the US it came out yesterday during the day, so I'm sure a lot of you have probably already downloaded this and tried it, but it's a very recent release. You can see here on the firmware update page it isn't yet here on the GH6 firmware version page, but if you jump into the main kind of portal for all the camera and lens updates, you can see we've got two new updates in here. We've got one for the GH6 and we've got one for the G9 Mark II, and I'll cover that one in a different video, so I'll link up to that in the corner. But we're just going to have a quick look at the one for the GH6, and to be honest it's a very small update. So if we jump into the download page for it, you'll be able to see that we've got the update procedures for if you're on if you're going from 2.2 or higher, or 2.0 and lower. You know, if you haven't updated any of these, I'd highly recommend you do, because there's been loads of really good updates in the last few kind of GH6 updates. So I'll link up into the corner how you can do that by SD card or do it using Lumix Sync. It's a pretty quick process. There's a couple of big firmware updates, there's a couple of small ones in there, but you know, it's definitely worth sort of taking some time out and doing those, because there's some nice little extra features in there, a few bug fixes. You know, it's worth doing it. So if we jump into this, I mean, I'm on version 2.4. I'm going to update to this in a minute, but it's just purely to take a look what's there. So you can see here December, the 20th December 23, version 2.5. It's just really bug fixes for what appears to be, it's not in much detail, but my take on that is that's SSD drives. So you know, some sort of compatibility updates for different devices, where maybe before they've been having issues with read and write speeds. It's possible that that Lumix are actually starting to iron out some of those issues that people have been having before, where there have been those kind of read and write issues that's causing to either kind of jump frames or stop recordings, and you know, that's really welcome, because for the most part SSD recording is pretty solid, but there are times where you know, you can get kind of unexpected results, and there's only really a handful of drives that are their recommended ones, and other drives do work outside of that. So for, you know, additional kind of support, that was really good. I'll link up into the corner on SSD drives and things like that, you know, if you're not already using that, which I'm sure you probably are, because it's a great feature of the camera. But yeah, that's it really, you know, just to say this is here. If you're having any of these kind of SSD issues, then obviously get yourself updated, because it's a really it'll be worthwhile for you. But just for anybody else as well, I'd always recommend you kind of do these updates, because there will be this in there, but on top of that there's usually always some little extra bug fixes that just get sort of bundled in there that aren't really worth mentioning in these release notes. So there'll probably be some extra little bits in there too. And like I say, in another version I'm just going to quickly go through and just talk about the G9 Mark II updates as well. So yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. If you did, just drop the video a like, and please subscribe for more.